From a super secret location deep within the mountains of Colorado, it's time to strap up, strap in, or strap on with your host, Shenanigans in One Shot. It's From the Ashes Radio!
What up, gangsta?
What up, bro?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can now. I couldn't for a minute. I was saying all sorts of terrible things.
While I do enjoy doing our remote broadcasts, I can't wait to be back at the super secret location where I feel safe.
Yes. There are 5 miniature bears, baby bears, that have been in the driveway of the bunker, protecting against all enemies. Foreign and domestic.
Foreign and domestic. I was just going to go there, dude. That's excellent.
Oh, man. Well, welcome, guys. This is About Face Radio, and this is the From the Ashes show with the Rob. Let me rephrase that. With Robert Shenanigans Williams. I am One Shot Seth. We are your hosts for this fine evening. Rob, tell us about how cold it is where you are.
It is brisk and chilly. It was snowing earlier in the week, which was kind of cool. I am providing a protection detail right now up in the mountains, deep in the mountains, and I get to walk 2 ferocious guard dogs daily around the perimeter, and they have to be walked or else they start eating people. Hang on a second. I heard still getting text messages. Sorry about that. That's obnoxious. What do you? Go ahead.
On my end, I'm getting all your text messages, while my text messages, and I don't know how to turn phones.
Well, let me see if I can shut that off so that we can have a radio show like adults. I guess the answer is no. Oh snap! You're probably on show prep. I will keep bothering you then. I'm about to commit murder. Thank God it's a listener, or it would be significantly worse. But whatever.
Oh, yeah, agreed.
It's cold. It's been snowing, but I've been keeping myself, foraging for fish in the local waters, riding e-bikes into town undercover to retrieve cigars, things like that. It hasn't been terrible, and of course, working my tail feathers off. So, what about you? How are things at the super secret location? I've been busy, obviously. You were dying of AIDS and Ebola and shit, weren't you? Nice shirt, by the way.
Yeah, I like this one. I liked it so much I tattooed it on my hand, basically.
Yeah, I know you did.
Really got to get that worked on, though. That 45, for those of you that are watching live, that 45 kind of looks like
like a what?
A male genitalia.
That's awesome. I love that I'm able to entice people to come on our show by saying to them, hey, man, we're internet based. You're allowed to swear on our show. You can? All right, I'll be there.
Oh, so I could have said penis?
Yeah. You said
okay.
No, you didn't say dick. Well done to you. But other than that, what else is going on, man? Oh, we're getting comments. Oh, people are listening. Good afternoon, gentlemen, from Nathan Hucker. Nathan Hucker, thank you for being there. Wilfred Bonilla is watching.
Oh, man, Nathan missed last week, but Nate, we had this dude come on, and I randomly realized that he was in Bravo Company with us, and then he went to Lurch. So he should have been there. But anyway,
I love how small our community gets, and it gets that way very quickly. That makes me happy.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah.
I can't wait for Allie to come on. I've got a feel good story for Allie when she gets here. All kinds of good stuff, man. It's been nothing but a great week. So.
It has been for me too. I'm really excited for you to get back to the normal mile high and not 2 mile high, and get into the academy and see all the beauty that is going on.
I know it's a weird. I mean, we get constant messages about jiu-jitsu on this show, and I recognize that it is a weird thing, but God, that is like one of my favorite places on the planet. Second only to the super secret location for obvious security reasons, but that academy is like a second home for me. And it's just because of the people.
It really is. And the more one of my things I've over a couple of decades of doing this choking and breaking things is that if you listen to the people, they'll make it better, and you can learn from them. No, you can learn from somebody that goes on the mat day one. So it's the more you listen to them, the better the environment is, and I think the environment is a reflection on the people if you listen to them. So yeah, it's been pretty.
They make the family bigger. That's my young lady that what's his name brought in a couple weeks ago, the purple belt. I mean, she is just a monster, and I had so much fun rolling with her. She's just it's just the best people, man. It's so weird that people that are actively trying to murder you become some of your best friends.
It's funny.
It's an odd thing. So
also, for those who are listening, I'm going to translate what Rob said. We had this female purple belt come in and probably kicked the shit out of him. Smashy, beat up Rob. And he really liked her because, well, she did jiu-jitsu, but anyway.
That's complete. You summed it up perfectly. If I leave there with more bruises on my face than I started with, then it's been a good day. And it's such an odd thing. Because, I mean, honestly, you do jiu-jitsu. I can't do like boxing and Muay Thai and all that stuff anymore. Just head injuries. I can't take shots to the head anymore, which you don't take a lot of unless you're rolling with Chris Carter. But it is the gentle art. I mean, honestly, and it doesn't feel that way sometimes when you're in it.
I honestly, in my opinion, think that the two biggest lies in jiu-jitsu is that size doesn't matter and it being called the gentle art.
Ask Jenny. I mean, say I'm wrong. My homegirl Patience is listening. It looks like she's listening on way of our YouTube channel, which I like a lot. That means people are listening in all kinds of different platforms. Do you realize that every Wednesday our friends with WTF Radio share our show?
Yeah.
And it goes from because their network is so big, it goes from 300 listeners to 30,000 listeners. So folks, if you are not subscribed to WTF Radio, you need to. They have some of the best shows on the radio. I mean, not compared to About Face Media. I mean, they're the second best radio station in the planet. But we have Moon, J Moon. We have Tuesdays or Today with Tally. We have, what is it? The Misfit Nation. Did you know that he just finished a book?
I knew he was working on one.
He just wrote a book. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head. But he's been having book signings and whatnot. And our people on About Face Media are doing some pretty incredible things. So, folks, if you're not subscribed, check out WTF. Did you also check out WTF Radio as well? Did you see? So our friends at Combat Flip Flops, the Shagmas that we, like the one I keep in my truck for hunting and whatnot. Those, Shagma, I'm sure I'm saying that word wrong. They're making them in Afghanistan again.
Oh,
that's huge. That's a really big deal because that means that they are funding girls' schools. Wilfred Bernia, hello, how are you? How early can you start practicing jiu-jitsu? Is 4 too early? Seth, I'll let you handle this one.
I always say child dependent, but most children are ready for a class structure at 4. But if mom or dad do jiu-jitsu, move around on the ground with them. Like when you're playing with your kid on the ground, help them, get into positions, and it helps them out. But structurally, usually the maturity for a child is somewhere around 4. I've no lie had an 18-month-old on the mat before, and I've had kids that were 4, and I'm like, hey, we need to wait a while. But usually 4 is the prime spot.
I don't disagree. Can you think of reasons why an adult may not be able to practice jiu-jitsu? Because I haven't found any yet. I have friends that are claustrophobic that do it. I have friends that are, and
that's the reason why you start doing it, to get over your claustrophobia.
No argument at all.
So I've worked with missing limbs.
Yep.
I've coached blind.
Yep.
I've coached victims that are. One of the people that was the most challenging to get over some hurdles with was a female victim from severe trauma. and not just one isolated ongoing trauma or not ongoing anymore, but had ongoing trauma for a very large portion of her life. And getting through it was one of the most empowering great things in the world for her. But I think if she can get through it, knowing what she had gone through going into jiu-jitsu or before finding jiu-jitsu and finding some other things in life, and she said she's a big advocate for jiu-jitsu too. But if she could get through it, I don't think there's anything you can't work around. The HIV.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You can do jiu-jitsu if you have the HIV.
Yeah.
We exchange bodily fluids. There, I found one.
Bodily fluid. That's a terrible way.
You know, if you go to the gym and you're sweaty and you touch something and somebody else touches it, you kind of get some of the same germs.
What was that?
Something's going on at there's security taking care of it.
I hear the chief of security up there yelling at someone. I hope it's one of our security personnel.
I think it's okay. I think probably what it was there's some extra reinforcing beams being delivered at some point today. And I think they might have pulled up and realized that there's 5 baby bears guarding the bunker. So they were probably scared and honking. I literally think that's what happened. They were honking. We're like, oh my God, what do I do? They're going to eat me. And anyway, so.
Hey, man. So I got a weird one for you. So while we're waiting for our guest who should be signing in any second now,
Okay.
What do you call it? Okay, we'll do. Are we in your hot responding? I don't know what that means. Hey, Veterans Day is November 11th.
Yes.
So, and by the way, the boss is listening. That's my favorite part. 48-year-old former medic, retired Army manchild. Ha! Joke's on you, asshat. I'm 49, so I don't know who you're talking about.
Joke's on both of you. I'm 28.
Hey, so yeah, Veterans Day is coming up quick. Are you
Yes.
the veteran that, hey, let's do a jiu-jitsu roll-a-thon and roll with all of my veteran buddies? Are you the veteran that maps out the day and I'm starting with Starbucks and my free coffee, headed to IHOP for my free pancakes, headed to Texas Roadhouse for my free steak? What kind of veteran are you?
Veteran Day is my double day because it's my birthday too. But I go and get as many free damn things as I can. I don't go to Starbucks because I won't go there, period. But
Yeah, I get you.
I do go. I always go to Texas Roadhouse, but I go to Texas Roadhouse when it's not Veterans Day. And then I think I'm going to get somehow roped into going to this CrossFit place again. And then we'll do a noon Veteran Day jiu-jitsu class. It'll probably end up being 2 or 3 hours of, some cool technique and some rolling, and that'll be it, I think. And then also, I think my little brother is going to be boxing that night, so I'm going to have a full day this.
He is? Where?
Yeah, I literally got a message today from my manager and promoter, and I was like, "Are you trying to entice me to fight on Veterans Day on my birthday?" And he's like, "Yes, I am, but I'm also putting your little brother on that card." And I was like, "Okay." So we'll see, but no on me.
Oh, I was gonna say, are you gonna fight, dude?
Yeah, there was a split moment in my head, but there's always
really
a split
excited
moment.
for a second.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, if you have not been to one of One Shot Seth's fights, you're missing out in a big way. So that is what caused me to go to him and be like, hey, I need a co-host. He gives a speech, or it was an off-the-cuff speech that night, but he gave a speech that night after just knocking this dude's dick in the dirt. I felt bad for the kid. Aimed at veterans, and man, it was one of the most moving speeches I have experienced. So when it came time to find a new co-host after my old one got found to be a complete piece of human garbage, it was easy to find a replacement. I went right to one person, and he actually came to me. Jerry fights. Yes. I'm not sure what John Ope is talking about there, but hey, it is 6:15. And so I've been waiting a while. We got to get this guest on because he has a fantasy something or other draft going on later, and he needs to kick rocks as soon as this interview is completed. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend Jason Smith, welcome to From the Ashes on About Face Media. Jason, how the heck are you, man?
I'm pretty good, man. Can you hear me?
No, can you hear me?
All right, great. Yeah, I'm good. You jerk. Yeah.
It's gonna get a lot worse, Jay, man. It's gonna get a lot worse. Don't worry about that.
So I just caught the tail end of what the other guy was saying. I heard you're like a one-hitter quitter, and it's terrifying to me. I would like to go see one of your fights. That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be dope. All right, I will have to say this. I've been all day super pumped to have you on the show because you have the best picture that we've ever put up for a guest coming on. I'm like, this dude is like part bionic badass, part human badass, 100% fucking badass. I love that picture, and you just fucking keeping it going, you know? So
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Jason, let's start at the beginning. So tell us about your time in service. You are a veteran. Tell us about your time when you served in the United States military. Tell us that story.
Yeah. So I joined the Army in 2009 as an infantryman, and I went to Korea for my first duty station. And that was pretty cool. Got to see a lot of the history and the culture there because, 1,000 years old over there versus 200 and something in America. Just a lot of history there. And then from Korea, I went to Fort Lewis. And from Fort Lewis, we deployed to Afghanistan in 2012 for an 8-month deployment. And halfway through, exactly, July 25th, I stepped on an IED while conducting like a BDA, which is a battle damage assessment. Essentially means I'm looking for any DNA from a guy that hurt himself as well and trying to get him into our system. And unfortunately, I missed an IED and it got me.
Wow, man. All right. So July 25th, you step on an IED, life changes significantly. Tell us a little bit about July 25th and what happened after July 25th.
Yeah, so I remember it very clearly because I was awake for everything. I remember bending down for a hat. I had my left hand down and I bent over with my right hand on my rifle. And as I applied all my weight on my left leg, it exploded. It was a 15-pound IED. I did a backflip in the air and landed on my stomach. When I opened my eyes, there was just a lot of dust everywhere. And I was unsure of who was hit. Was it me? Was it my SAW gunner? Was it my Bravo team leader? And as I was laying there, both my hands are pretty messed up. Got some damage here and there. But I felt my hands start to like curl in. And at that point, I knew it was me and not anybody else. So from that position, it was kind of like, okay, shock set in. Everybody rushes up. They apply the tourniquets and help me. And it was a gnarly situation, but the shock probably saved my life. I was yelling at people to pull security, like, don't look at me. I'm yelling at my platoon sergeant. I'm like, you better promote me. I swear to God, like I'm screaming at this guy. But it was just a real crazy day. The last thing I remember was getting put on, I call it the slab at CAF, and all these doctors were talking about me, not to me. And I remember just, looking up saying, what's up, guys? I was on fentanyl at that time. And that was the last thing I remember until I got to Germany. So it was nutty.
I was on fentanyl.
Yeah.
Folks, so we're clear, medical professionals administer. He was not self-administering fentanyl at that point in his life. That's not something we carry regularly in the field. Glad to hear that the fentanyl worked for you, bud. So you get out, you're discharged from the military. You are missing both legs. Correct me if I'm wrong. Why don't you run down a little bit of a list of what you've got now?
So I've got my left leg above the knee is missing. My right leg below the knee. My right hand is missing the bone inside of it, both knuckles, tendons. All I can move is my thumb and index. My right hand, just the outer part is kind of fused and messed up. And then I just have some significant arm damage along with TBI, PTSD, and anxiety. It took a while. Go ahead.
No, please, you.
Yeah. So it took a while when I got out to really acclimate myself to the civilian world. You go from being a cohesive unit to being one of one. And when you've been medically discharged, it's kind of like, hey, man, good luck. And it's like, oh, okay. So there was a lot of gray area when I got out. And it was almost like, you're kind of like a ship in the storm. You're out there. The waves are battering everywhere, which way to go. You see the destination you want to go to, which is the lighthouse, but it's really hard to get there. And I found my lighthouse through fitness. And I was having a really hard time working out at the gym because a lot of people were staring at me, which, I mean, rightly so. I'm a guy with no legs. I get it. But I wasn't prepared mentally for something like that yet. I was not ready to really accept what happened. So I went to the VA to get some antidepressants and stuff like that. And I saw like a little flyer for a program you know a lot about. It's Catch a Lift. I found him in 2014, and that gave me the strength and the I guess the intestinal fortitude to work out again and be comfortable with what I have and not just kind of focus on what I don't have.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So you started with Catch a Lift, and then you end up at something called the Invictus Games. Some people listening may not. So keep in mind that not all of our listeners are veterans themselves and don't know what the Invictus Games are. Tell us about the Invictus Games.
The best way to describe it is a wounded veteran Olympics. We have a national stage, which is the Warrior Games. And then we have the Invictus Games, which up to 21 different countries this year showed up to compete. And I found out about Invictus through a gentleman named Carnell Martin and Sarah Rudder. They were both competitors in Warrior Games and Invictus Games. And that piqued my interest because I'm highly fitness driven. And that's what I fight my demons with, is fitness. So being able to get on stage again and compete at a high level was something that really intrigued me. So I went from Warrior Games, did really well there. I got silver in bench press. I did rowing, the 1 minute sprint and the 4 minute endurance row, and I won gold in both of those. And that kind of got me on the radar for Invictus. So I got the call in November to go to Invictus for Team USA. And anytime you can wear that flag again on your chest and support your country is amazing. It's an amazing feeling to be able to get back out there and do something like that. So it was held in Dusseldorf, Germany. And my events were rowing and powerlifting. And it was good. You know, I always thought I was good at powerlifting and rowing, but being able to go to another country and, in the nicest way, obliterate the other people that I was competing against was something big for me.
Look at the smile on Seth's face right there.
Yeah. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, we respect our competitors. And I don't want to downplay any of their abilities, but being able to get in there and do what you're there for, that definitely, it resonates with me.
I need to come back to something very important that you said in a passing comment, but rings true with a lot of our listeners, and Seth's already nodded because he knows exactly what it is. You battle your demons in the gym. And I realized that was a profound comment. I realized it was a throwaway comment for you, but that was very profound for the people listening to this show right now. Can you spend a little bit of time on that?
Yeah. So for me personally, outside of the gym, being a double amputee in a wheelchair or in prosthetics, it's kind of hard for me to get around. I don't really control that outcome. Inside the gym, I control everything. Whatever I do in that gym, or whatever work I put into, I'm going to get the results. Nobody can take that from me. And I found myself many times in the gym, not really on schedule, but just going there and fighting through whatever was really just digging at me. And I left feeling much better. It's like I could just shed every ounce of sweat. I sweat out there. It's leaving just this bad juju there. I'm more level-headed. I'm clear. I'm a better father. I'm a better husband. It just, without fitness, I don't know where I'd be, you know?
Absolutely. You have no idea how much that, and you may actually have every idea how much that truth speaks to our listeners and to our crowd right now. I have never walked out of Zenith Authentic Jiu-Jitsu or any other mats and not had a big stupid smile on my face, even if I get my ass absolutely handed to me. Chris Carter, I'm talking to you. I can't walk out of there with a big smile on my face, because that means that I just spent an hour fighting the demons and I won the fight.
Yeah.
It means a lot.
You shed that extra layer of just like aggression and anger. It's like a lizard shedding its skin, man. You come out there, you're new, you're born again, you're strong again. And then what was bugging you then, it's gone now. You know, that maybe tomorrow use problems, but today's problems are gone. You're free sailing for the rest of the day.
Well, and you and I have had some conversations over whatever it is that your Starbucks order is. Can't even try to fucking replicate that thing.
Oh man,
what was that thing? It was like a chai coffee latte with 3 shots of pain and suffering in it. What the fuck did you call that? What is it?
Oh, it's a dirty chai. I'll get it from anywhere. I absolutely love dirty chais. It's just chai tea with espresso in it, and it makes me feel special.
If I had 3 shots of espresso in a chai tea,
yeah. All my bad problems turn into good problems.
But yeah, we had a little bit some conversation there over that coffee order, and yeah, man, it's incredible. It's empowering to watch the whole thing happen. So you got some people listening right now that are like, hey, I want to get back to competing. This is something I'm interested in. Talk to those folks for just a minute.
Yeah. So, I touched on this earlier. When you get out, you're kind of lost in the sauce. You get a little complacent. It can get dark really quick. We all rely on something to get out of that headspace. Luckily for me, it was fitness. And being able to compete again at a high level when you're told that you're broken, and they no longer need you, that'll really bring the spirits up. So what my advice to anybody would be to, one, if you're a Marine, I already have a contact for you. I could be your contact for Team Army. There's a few guys for Team Air Force. If they were to just drop information down here, I could definitely help them get acquainted with it. And March will be the tryouts for Warrior Games, and it'll be held in Orlando at Disney World, June 1st to the 6th, I think. But you have to try out in March. You can do virtual, or you can do it in person. And from there, they'll pick their teams. And it's really, really cool. It's really something to see. Everybody out there, they've been through something very similar to what all of us have been through. And it does a lot for not only the ego, but the psyche to really get out there and be able to compete, not just to be given a participation trophy, but actually work for it again,
to earn it.
Absolutely.
And honestly, that's why you and I are having this conversation today. You earned it. So well done to you. Very, very. And the comments are just fucking blowing up here with all kinds of different stuff. So yeah, people are very impressed to hear this story. So let's say people are interested in doing this. Seth, was you about to say something?
Yeah, a couple of things I pulled out of there, which I like are near and dear to me. I really appreciate is one, you're talking about living in today, and shedding your stuff that day, being in the gym, and I think that's something that veterans are like stressing what's going to happen tomorrow and worrying about. It's in the past, and there's this funny reference that I heard once that if you're worried about the past, you leave your left foot in the past. And then you're stressing about what's going to happen tomorrow, and you got your right foot in tomorrow. You got your dick in the day, and that's the moment we're living in.
Yeah.
So, that, and also like where you're talking about like, yeah, I couldn't do this, and this, and I felt the same way because I'm a med retired too, and I'm like, I had no intention of doing anything with my life, employment wise, besides retiring from the fucking Army. Like that was it. I had my jam. Right. I fucking love my job. I love doing it. I love fucking lacing my boots up every day. Like I had no interest, but when I got out, I'm like, well, just because I can't do that doesn't mean I have to be a fucking couch potato. Like I'm still a soldier. I'm just not actively soldiering anymore. And there's all these cool things I can still do, so I relate to that. And I think good words for our listeners and fucking good stuff for you, man.
Jason, I know you have to get to a whatever it is, a draft of some type.
That's not for another hour.
Fuck. Well, then I'm going to keep you as long as I can, man.
Yeah, anything. I know I only skimmed over Invictus. I mean, I can talk more about that.
What is this? What is your draft for?
Oh, it's basketball, man. I'm a super slut for any fantasy sports. I enjoy numbers. I like numbers a lot. So it's fun to see those points add up. You guys, do any of you play fantasy sports?
I have a fantasy football team through VFW Post 1, and I think in 2 and 4. I don't know. Seth, are you doing fantasy this year?
I played fantasy football for like 10 years, and a few years ago I gave it up. but I used to be like way into it.
I like it because it makes me pay attention to a player that I wouldn't normally have any. Like, why would I root for someone on fucking Green Bay?
Now I kind of went to the dark side, and I like sports gambling. Same thing.
Yeah.
I haven't gambled yet. Are you a gambler, Jason?
No, I'm too afraid to lose money. Now, if it was a guarantee, I would absolutely.
Guaranteed.
So, folks, you wanted to talk a little bit more about the Invictus Games. So, let's say that I want to compete in the Invictus Games. How do I find out like what sports are available? And that's a great question. Do you know what sports are available?
Yeah. So the only way, well, not really the only way, but the best and I guess most accurate way is to go through Warrior Games first. Think about that as a national trials. Okay. You go in there and you do good. They put you in sports and you do well in those sports. Maybe you win them, maybe you don't. But you give it all and you have a positive attitude because you're being judged from the moment you're there. Everyone's trying to see if you're a team player, if you're just in it for you, if you're here just to be here or you're here to compete. They're all looking for stuff like that, the way you hold yourself, the way you act amongst your peers. And if all those things, those boxes are checked, then you're looked at and you'll be sent an invite to the Invictus Games. And that is a collection of all teams. So the Warrior Games, every branch has a team. And from there, they choose, I wouldn't call it the All-Stars, but I would call, I guess, the best fit for the Invictus. So they'll probably take 10 per branch. And that's up there. They you tell them what you did, what you want to do, and they'll slot you in your best sport where you have the best chance to win. And it is incredible. The atmosphere. So many veterans. Everybody there has been through something you've been through. I saw a couple of amputees from Jordan. It was crazy, man. Nigeria was there. It's amazing to see that the resilience just worldwide of all the veterans. It's not just America, like if it's not in our face, we kind of tend to leave it. We kind of forget it. We're not really up on it. But when you see it, man, there was so many. I don't know how many were there. Over 1,000. Had to been over 1,000. So many people there just giving it their all, just busting their tails. It was amazing.
I love this. I absolutely love this. Is outstanding stuff. Jason, so my homeboy is going to give you, we want to be respectful of your time because I know you're a family man with a couple of goats and whatnot on that farm of yours. My homeboy is going to give you the instructions for the next few minutes. Go with it, Seth.
All right, Jason, thank you so much for being on. You're one of my absolute favorite guests we had. But
awesome, man.
We'll cut it short, but we give you a couple minutes at the end. If there was something you were thinking about before you got on the show that you wanted to talk about and we skipped over or just didn't even come close to bringing it up, you get a chance to talk about it. If you wish we would have asked you about something, you get to bring it up yourself. Now you got 2 minutes. We don't really time, but it's your time to shine.
All right. Well, I'd like to bring light to a nonprofit that's near and dear to my heart, which is Catch a Lift Fund, and it would be beneficial for a lot of veterans out here that are listening. Any veteran post 9/11 that has a rating, I believe it's 60 or higher, they should look into Catch a Lift. If you're looking to find something to do with your vices and your free time, fitness is an amazing thing to get into. And it's not just fitness that you're getting into; it's a community, brothers and sisters, like-minded veterans. Rob, I met you there, and it was, you stood out to me, man. You're a cool guy. I meshed well with you, and I don't know you one shot, man, but you seem like a really dope guy, and I respect you already. Go Army always. But it's just it's just nice to be in a community again. Whenever you kind of pushed out, that's really all I wanted to say, except for just thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here and talk with both of you guys, both of you amazing gentlemen, all the listeners. Thank you for listening to what I said. It's an honor to be here. It really is.
Hey man, I know folks are interested in following along with your journey from here forward. Are you interested in giving out your socials?
Yeah, my social is, can I type it or did I just say
you
it?
Absolutely can. If you know how to type, by all means. I know you got that blue cord going on.
Yeah, appreciate that. Jerk. Yeah, Smith Machine 85 on Instagram, and then I don't know how to find me on Facebook, just Jason Smith maybe, but there's a lot of us. It's a very generic white person name,
Don't you worry. And we will share this as well in the show notes as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been talking with American athlete with the Invictus Games, Jason Smith. Please, by all means, go find him on the gram at Smith Machine 85. And yeah, Jason, are you going to go back to the Invictus Games again? Do you get to compete again? How does that work?
You're allowed to do 2. As a Purple Heart recipient, I believe I'm allowed to do 5 Warrior Games. But next year, or they do it every other year. So 2025 will be in Canada, and they're going to do winter sports. There's nothing about me that is winter sports ready. I am not a skier. I am not a snowboarder. I am a power lifter, and I am a rower. And I'm not going to go if I can't do those things.
Get you. Absolutely get you.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, I just want to say thank you so much. It's an honor to meet you and spend some time with you. And yeah, we're very happy that you decided to come on the show and tell this story. And we'll keep you posted, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Smith with the Invictus Games and advocate for Catch a Lift Fund. So nicely done.
Yeah, thank you guys so much, man. Again, thank you. It's really cool to be here.
Good luck with your draft, and thanks, man.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Heck of a dude.
Yeah, I just wanted to follow him real quick on IG.
Not much of a golfer. Lost my golf ball on me. Still owes me a golf ball, but we'll talk about that some other time.
Oh,
I wonder if jiu-jitsu.
You can't down somebody for not being good at golf, man. Fucking long-range shooting is the men's version of golf.
Well, he asked, he's like, who's got left-handed golf clubs? I'm like, well, I do. I'm a left-handed. And he takes my club and he's like, dude, this is a right-handed golf club. And I'm like, oh, I wouldn't have known that if you hadn't pointed it out. I'm left-handed. I don't know shit about it other than that. So yeah. Are you a golfer? Exactly. See, that's exactly what I did when he said that.
Oh yeah. Okay. Wait, no.
I don't know,
I'm
man.
confused. Yeah. I can whack a golf ball.
Do you enjoy golfing? I think it's a perfectly good base of a firing range.
So when I was a little kid in my small town, Podunk, Nebraska, my uncle was the club pro. So I played in little leagues and shit like that. And I was okay. But then I moved when I was high school. So I didn't ever really play after that. But funny story, I went to a date day with the wife. We went to the driving range and we get out and I didn't say I'd whacked a golf ball before. So it was supposed to just be this casual date, the fucking first one I fucking launched. And she's like, God damn it. I was like, what? Wasn't that great of a shot. But.
So there are tons of unused women's scholarships for college for golf. And when we lived in Texas, so
you changed your identity.
Yeah, exactly. That too. Well, that's one of two. Grace's grandfather gave her a set of golf clubs. And so we went out to the driving range and she takes a shot and she swings and the first golf ball goes downrange and so does the head of her golf club. And yeah. And she was 10 and she burst into tears and she's like, I'm never golfing again. And I don't think she's ever touched a golf club again. So there goes that scholarship idea. Yeah. I was hoping that Allie would be with us by now. Damn, I forgot to ask Jason what he was doing for fucking Veterans Day.
I bet she's going to hit the gym.
Well, yeah, there's that too. Anyway, I was hoping Allie would be here tonight for just a few minutes because someone that you and I care very deeply about, 5 minutes before showtime called me and said, hey man, I just filed my PACT Act claim. And I could not be more happy. That is exactly why you and I do what we do.
I feel like a lot of things we say, I almost feel like cramming it down everybody's fucking throat that I know. And I am happy about this platform because of that. But there's so many people around us because we're both very surrounded by veterans and, law enforcement, all of us, right? And you say the same fucking thing so many damn times. I'm like, can you just go file? Well, I've been thinking about it. I need to put this. I'm like, just go fucking file, whatever it is, or go take advantage of this program. And when one person finally does one thing, they always come back and like, man, that was so easy. That was really helpful. And I'm like, fucking listen, nobody's nobody's trying to get you to fucking be their next biggest Amway distributor. Trying to help you out with something that you're going to thank me for later. And I don't need to thank you. Just go fucking do it, because I know it's beneficial, you know. But
well, a lot of is ingrained in us is, you know, oh, I'm doing okay. I will get through this. And we even say it on the show, no one's coming. You know, it's up to you to take care of you. And that is accurate. However, but in the exact same breath, we have earned things. And that's what a lot of the people listening to the show right now don't grasp the concept of. You have, oh, hang on a second. She is here, and I'm glad. Allie, I'm glad you're here. Did you hear what we were just talking about?
No, I'm so sorry. I'm away for training. It's our annual MVSOA training conference. So I'm in my room in the hotel. So I'm sorry I don't have any of my gear, and I'm like verklempt. So
no, we got you. I just needed you to come on because I needed you to know. What's up? You got the Ebola? Got the AIDS?
I do. Yeah, got a sip of herp AIDS.
So 5 minutes before airtime tonight, I got a phone call from someone that I deeply give a shit about. And this person today filed their PACT Act claim. And I just wanted to say to you, thank you for what you do. And thank you for taking a few minutes out of your time, because this person's got young children, a beautiful wife, people I care about. And it means the world that you do what you do. And that you're at training, it makes it even better.
I thank you. I appreciate that very, very much. Very much. Did he do it correctly?
I can't guarantee it. Probably not. He's Navy, so probably not is the short answer.
Well, you can give him my contact information. Don't put it out in the ether, but I will be more than honored to help him if he's got any questions.
So put it in the comments for just the show, right?
Yeah.
No, it's bad enough. It's bad enough that like veterans from TikTok will find me on Facebook, and they will find my cell phone number and Instagram, and I'm like, wow, okay. Like I mean, I put myself out there on TikTok, and I am a public figure, so my work email is out there and stuff. But don't call my phone. Like that's a little much.
I think I knew you for at least a year, if not two, before I had your phone number.
Yeah, about a year. Yeah.
Well, I do put my phone number out there, and my phone rings constantly, and it'll be like, hey, there's a homeless guy at Colfax and 15th. Anything you can do for him?
Right. And that's why my phone rings too. Yep. Messenger and Instagram. Like, if you're homeless, don't contact me on Instagram, because there is a queue and there's a list. And if it's an emergency, I'm not going to get to it. Call 911 first, or go to the hotel, find a VSO, find somebody that can get you an immediate shelter. But please do not call me on Instagram, because I don't answer that. That's not for emergencies.
The point, I know you're real busy and you got to go, but the point of having you on tonight was I wanted to make sure that you knew that we talk until we're blue in the face and we feel like no one hears us sometimes.
Right.
This showed me that people are hearing what your work and what you're doing. So I know it's frustrating sometimes, but please never stop what you're doing.
You know, it's not just me. I mean, it's VSOs across the country. You know, I'm not in this by myself. I'm in this with, a whole team. And right now downstairs, we're in the DoubleTree by Hilton in the town of Leominster, Massachusetts. And there's about 300 veteran service officers downstairs right now in training. We had the secretary of the Executive Office of Veteran Services come and speak. We had representatives from the VA. We had suicide prevention. And today what I did was this really, really cool thing. It was a dementia simulator. So they made me put on these insoles that had like tiny like pin pricks. And I had to wear almost like hearing protection, like at the gun range. And it had people talking. It's just incoherent, and there were sirens going off, and there's doors slamming, there's people yelling and talking. I had to wear gloves, and I had to wear glasses, and they were tinted yellow. And then there was black spots, so you couldn't see. So they lead me into this dark room, and the guy turns on the headphones, and he's reading me instructions, and I can't understand him. So I'm getting frustrated, and I'm shouting at him like, I can't hear you. And here I am, he's giving me these instructions. And then he said, go. And I'm in this room, and there's tables with tons of stuff on them. And there's clothes hanging up, there's tables with just so much stuff, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? And I'm getting so frustrated. So then I go to the board, and I see that there's a list, there's 4 tasks I had to complete, but the damn tasks didn't make sense. Change the purse, flash the battery, clock 10 and 4, and I'm like, what the hell does this mean? And I have gloves on, so I can't grab anything. My feet are killing me because of the insoles that I have to put on. And I was in there for 8 minutes, and I walked out of there just feeling just so aggravated. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I sat in this sensing session, and they're like, this is why we made you do this. The pinpricks that you felt on your feet, dementia patients can't often tell us that they have neuropathy. The gloves prevented you from picking things up because dementia patients can't always connect their brain to their motor skills. And then she's like, and the hearing that you had, that's what dementia patients tell us they hear. They hear voices, they hear noise, and they're not able to distinguish what's ambient noise to conversation. And I'm like, now I get why dementia patients are so violent and so aggravated and so frustrated, because I felt so incompetent. And the guy is sitting there talking to me, giving me instructions. And I'm like, I didn't even complete the tasks. I put on a jacket and I put on the purse because it was there. She's like, the goal was to not complete the tasks. It was for you to see how you would react and how dementia patients live their days. The goals weren't even making sense. So what does change the purse mean? What does flash the battery? And she's like, exactly, because dementia patients have a hard time understanding what's rubbish and what's not. And I'm like, oh my God, I will never look at dementia patients the same again. Like, people live like this, and I couldn't see. The room was dark, and she's like, why don't you turn on the lights? And I'm like, I didn't know I could. She's like, you couldn't. We would have turned it off. But dementia patients in nursing homes and in care facilities lack control. And it was just an incredible experience. And the VA put this on. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it just opened my eyes to how dementia patients live. And it just a little bit of sympathy will go a very long way. It was unbelievable experience. Frustrating as hell. They actually had to give us like a sensing session and a debrief, because it was only 8 minutes. And I can't tell you the last time I was so frustrated. I felt so incompetent. I was aggravated that I couldn't hear the directions. I couldn't accomplish anything. My feet were hurting. It was just unbelievable experience.
Yes, it simulates neuropathy in the feet, John says.
Yep.
And I mean, we're hopefully, if we all goes right, we're all going to get there. So,
I mean,
well, I know, right? So that blessing curse thing, I hope you live a long time, but
right. Yeah. What's the quality of life, right? Like, and it's just, it was just unbelievable. And I kept thinking about my grandma, who has early onset. Oh, and there was somebody in the corner, and they had like a behavioral sheet. And they said that a lot of dementia patients will hum or sing or talk to themselves because the throat sensation or vocal cords, like the sensation in the throat, is soothing to them. And I'm like, was I talking to myself? And I'm like, yes, I was. I kept saying, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I need help. What does this mean? And I was talking to myself, okay, this isn't the clock. Where's the clock? What's the battery? And I'm like, oh my God. So was I subconsciously trying to soothe myself by walking through this darkened room? I couldn't see, it couldn't feel. I was just so frustrated, so aggravated, and I totally get why dementia patients will turn violent, because there's no other way to express themselves. I get it.
I have people that I care about who are suffering through dementia right now, and she just doesn't speak at all. She just doesn't she eats and just sits there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
sorry, man.
Well, it happens. I mean, it absolutely happens. And that's why we have to take care of ourselves now,
right,
and take care of ourselves. That's why our previous guest, Jason Smith, in the gym, working out, finding those wellness things, taking care of his body,
right,
is so important. So
It absolutely is. And I didn't realize, we're in the military and we're doing PT, and I'm thinking it's just for, so we can be combat ready, so we can be efficient. But then looking back, and it's like all those workouts that I hated waking up in the morning and going to work out. Like I didn't mind running in formation, but like I hated it. Like how effective was that at the end of my life? You know what I mean? Like, how much of that was preventative down the line because I did all those workouts, as opposed to my peers who are not in the military, who live a sedentary life. You know what I mean? Like, it's just you never know.
I do. I know exactly what you're getting at. So, how much longer are you in training for, boss lady?
No, we're here until Thursday.
Cool. Very cool. Well, you're doing good things for people, and whether you realize it or not, people do hear the things that you're putting out, and as was reflected by a phone call today. And I love that the person called and was like, "Oh, you're getting ready to go on air, aren't you? Sorry about that." And I'm like, No. What do you got, man? Hit me with what you got. And so
I needed to hear that. Thank you.
I know,
Because it does. I feel like I am just, making these stupid videos, and you guys know me. Like, I don't ever take myself seriously, right? Like, the work I do is very important, but these videos, they're stupid. They're like dumb, but they get the point across. And if I'm not stupid, right? Like, there are some people who think I'm pretty. So if I gotta make a video and like, oh, who's this, pixie butch blonde girl? Like, what she got to say? Then so be it. That'll get the message across, right? Like, and people need to know that their benefits are out there. There's compensation, that it's not a fucking handout. It is compensation for a job served. If you are working any civilian job and you hurt yourself, you're going to get workman's comp. Consider VA compensation the exact same thing. You got hurt on the job, you got an illness on the job. This is compensation for you. You're not taking away from anybody else. That's not how it works.
It's so much more than that, Allie.
It is so much more than that.
You are.
I think the entire word disability, when it comes to VA, needs to be fucking deleted. And it really isn't disability. It really is your comp and pen. But
right. I don't know how to. Maybe we start a letter writing campaign to the Secretary McDonough and be like, can you please change the word disability to compensation? Are you a disabled veteran? No, I'm a compensated veteran.
Yeah.
Well, part of your benefits package, you are being compensated due to whatever, but it's part of your benefits package or when you sign on the dotted fucking line. That's it.
Right.
You're not disabled. You're not broke. You're just different than you used to be.
And I don't mean to keep you, Allie. I know, because I know you got places to be, but I need for you to know it's so much more than that. Our grandfathers got out from Korea and World War II, and they just went back to life. And we Vietnam veterans, and we lost a lot of them. What you're doing is saving lives in the literal sense.
Stop it. You are going to make me cry, and I don't cry on air. I appreciate that from the bottom of my little black heart. I do. Well, thank you.
Go learn some shit, and thank you for the time tonight. And
absolutely, my pleasure. Thank you. And I appreciate what you guys do. You guys save lives too. I want you to know that.
It's because of people like you, boss lady. Keep it up.
Stop it. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you next week.
Bye. God, I love that chick. She's the best.
I agree. Out there just fucking doing God's work. I gotta bring something up to you. It's because you're talking about a statement we commonly say, and I think my way of understanding it is different, right? So we always say, like, nobody's coming for you, right?
Yep.
You got to take care of yourself. But I also take this: nobody's coming for you. Nobody's coming for me. So it's on me, and it's on you to fucking make sure that we're okay. Right? It's so just because I know nobody's coming for me, but that also means that all of our fucking community of veterans and our brothers, nobody's coming for them either. So we have to.
And agreed. And I agree. What I take from that statement is that our systems and processes are going to fail us. And I think that's been demonstrated since 2000.
Well, it already is.
Yeah, exactly. But all we have is our community and you and I.
Yeah.
And yeah,
absolutely. But look what's been successful. Is the VA been successful? No. They're a Boeing 757 on fire, straight down with blown engines. That's the fucking VA in a nutshell. But there's all these different programs, nonprofits, activities, things that have been created by members of the community for the members of the community that are working amazing. They're crushing it. And there's not one, there's not two, there's hundreds, there's thousands of these amazing things going on from our community because we're a community of people that can make shit happen,
44,000 veteran-based nonprofits in our nation. 44,000. If we could bring all those together and we're trying to create a comprehensive list right now of all of those 44,000 and the opportunities available. One of our biggest obstacles with the one that I love the most, the Motorcycle Relief Project, is getting people to actually show up when they're supposed to. Hey, you're welcome to it. Hey, this is for you. It's paid for. All you have to do is get there, and they will cancel the day before. And honestly, they're scared. They don't want to. A lot of us don't want to face what's going on inside, and
absolutely
want to take it on. Dana Miller, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. What were you saying, Seth?
I said absolutely. I was just agreeing with you.
It doesn't happen very often, so I'm going to embrace that moment. Hey, what do you want to do first? You want to do Never Forgotten, or you want to do the safety brief for the week?
Why don't you do your Never Forgotten, and then we'll end on safety brief because I want to end on a funny, haha, good one.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah. I'm not saying Never Forgotten's not good. I'm just saying that's.
Well, this one is. Hey, let me find that again. Saved. Blah, blah. I made sure to save it for exactly this reason. So, if you're in the motorcycle community in the Denver metro area, you've probably heard of Woody's Wheelworks. If you have not ever been to Woody's Wheelworks, I highly encourage you to take the ride to Denver, stop by Woody's, and get your picture taken in front of the wall. It's an incredible place, to say nothing of the great things this place does. And so with that being said, so this one's a little bit long, so strap yourselves in, take a sip of your tea, whatever it is you got. Troutman Gregory Woody Witt, April 13th, 1942 to October 16th of 2023. Troutman Gregory Woody Witt, 81, of Denver, Colorado, passed away peacefully at home surrounded by loved ones on Monday, October 16th. Born in Munich, Germany during World War II to Herman and Waltraut Witt, his family was fortunate enough to immigrate to the United States in 1947. That's kind of awesome, like right after World War II. That's impressive. Where they set to work building their childhood home in Hawthorne, New Jersey. He's fascinated by small engines, trains, boats, and all things mechanical, a passion to follow him through life. Following graduation from high school, he received the coveted appointment to the U.S. Naval Academy, ultimately became a United States Marine. He served in the United States Marine Corps for 8 years, stationed in Okinawa, Japan, and El Toro, California, where he was a language teacher and worked in aviation electronics. Loved his time in Japan and would forever be enamored with food, culture, and people there. He received a degree in psychology and early childhood development. I didn't know that shit. Have you ever met Woody, Seth?
I don't think so.
Oh my goodness, what a guy. During a trip across California, he stopped in Denver and fell in love. In 1972, he used his skills with small engines to land a role at a rinky-dink motorcycle shop. On the side, he began racing, working on racers' bikes, became a part of the community, building a network of avid motorcycle riders across the Front Range, and co-founded the Mountain Road Racing Association. So he was a motorcycle racing dude. In 1973, he opened his business, Woody's Wheelworks, with the goal of providing world-class wheel and front-end service to moto enthusiasts in Colorado. While the business grew quietly, Woody took his passion for education and started a small engine program at Denver Public Schools Career Education Center. Some of his students became racers, employees, and lifelong friends. Super Lays. A devastating motorcycle accident left a friend of his paralyzed from the waist down, and while Woody originally focused on engineering hand controls to get his friend back on the bike, when winter came, he tuned his attention to ski slopes of Colorado. Determined that the equipment options for disabled winter sports athletes were inadequate, he set out to build a new ski set and a set of outriggers that would enable people of all abilities to enjoy snow sports and fully more fully in greater control than that which existed in the 80s. So this dude was a Marine, built Woody's Wheel Works, which is an absolute fucking institution in Denver. And then when his friend got hurt, this dude continued on and made the first few ski chairs for like with bipods on them so that disabled people could ski. Dude's a badass, an absolute badass. Hey, look, they're doing a ride, a memorial ride for Woody on November 11th. If you don't already have plans and you want to get out on the bike, meet up at Woody's Wheel Works, and they're going to do Woody's memorial ride that day. This is a quiet veteran. If you didn't know him, you would not know that he was a veteran that served his nation, but did incredible things after his time in service. Ladies and gentlemen, today on From the Ashes, we remember Troutman, Gregory, or TJ Woody Witt. So thank you for listening. I know that was a long one, and I apologize, but he was an institution, and I hope people remember Woody. So, yeah.
Good one.
And Seth, it's worth a ride.
Yeah.
To Woody's.
I got to work on the scooter a little bit.
Yeah, I've seen that thing. It's a Harley. I get it. It's always under maintenance.
Oh no, it runs. It did a memorial run this last weekend. It's going. I just got to play with it a little bit, and I'm also still a little like worried about being two legs down when neither one of them are great and one is really not working real good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like just even leaving the driveway or leaving my like the road, and like I'm like, okay, I get on this hill and I like put my feet down. My leg's not real. It's still a little worried, but anyway.
I get you, man. I totally get you. Safety brief. What do you got? Got to get.
You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
You go first.
All right, folks, drive carefully. 90% of people are caused by accidents.
What? That's of all people. Do you feel a little hypocritical right this second?
Wait, did you not think about that for a second? I said drive carefully. 90% of people are caused by accidents. I didn't say. Never mind.
Folks, there's a lot going on in the next few weeks as we approach Veterans Day. A lot of opportunities, a lot of you're going to do a lot of great stuff. Reach out to your buddies, reach out to your friends, invite them along with what you have going on. The biggest thing is tell people where you're going. Here we are in Colorado. If you're going fishing with friends, if you're going hunting with friends, let someone else know where you're going. Don't be that person that gets lost and they have to send a rescue crew out for you. It's embarrassing.
That Evan Tanner bullshit.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Oh, wow. What a great example. God,
I'm here for.
We are over time. So I just wanted, because I read that whole obituary. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for taking part of your Monday night out to be a part of From the Ashes on About Face Media. Go check out our sponsors, Combat Flip Flops and Thigh Hugger Shorts. And yeah, get yourself a set. And yeah, anything else, Seth?
I'm out of words.
All right, man. Have a great rest of your night, and thanks a lot for being a part of the broadcast, folks. Good night.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for listening.